Hi, Jasmine. It is a dark, rainy day, our election day, and I'm trying to keep myself busy so I don't get nervous over the election. I thought I would do your tag, which I haven't done yet, and you haven't done mine yet either. What are your plans for Halloween? Well, Halloween is over now, and I really didn't have any plans for Halloween. I had put out my decorations. I don't get trick-or-treaters, so my plans are pretty much to maybe eat. I got some good quality chocolate. Now that I'm older, sometimes the commercial candy really doesn't thrill me like it did when I was a kid. So I try to get some really good candy bars. I got one that was what was it? Sea salt pretzel. Um, and then I got a Cadbury fruit and nut. And those hit the spot much better, I think, this year than like Reese's would have or Butterfinger or anything that seems so excessively sugary. Anyway, um, I got myself some candy and I looked for some spooky movies to watch. I wasn't too successful on the spooky movie front because I talked about this before. Modern horror just doesn't do it for me anymore. And I'm kind of bored with the old classics that I have watched infinite item. So I searched out Charlie Brown Halloween, and you can't see that they put it. Apple bought it, and a lot of people are upset. So it doesn't air on CBS like it does every year. You have to go to Apple TV or Apple app or whatever it is where they play it, and it's a lot of people are upset by that. But I find it in segments on YouTube. It's not the whole complete thing. There are some parts that are edited out and it's disjointed in separate videos, but that's how I watch it these days. I keep telling myself I've got to buy it on DVD or something, but I never do. Anyway, um, what did I do? It's November 5th now, and I'm trying to remember what I did on Halloween, what I watched. Um, that was pretty much my plan. I really didn't have a plan. What would my Halloween costume look like? For some reason, my first thought would be a werewolf. I would get some kind of like brown synthetic fur or something and like glue it to my face and maybe my forearms and get some tattered clothing um, and just make myself into a werewolf for some reason. That was just what came to mind. Costume party or movie night in. I used to always say I thought it would be fun to go to a costume party. But now that I'm becoming old and crotchety, I might just, well, I might just do what I did, a movie night in. I still think if I was feeling energetic, maybe if I had more coffee or something in me, maybe if I had ingested more chocolate and had more energy, I might go for the costume party. But it would have to be a good one with like fog machines and themed food and punch and people's costumes good and the whole place done up so it looks like a castle or something. Otherwise, why bother? So that's my answer. Explore a dark cave or a secret haunted house. Well, I'm going to go with the haunted house only because I would think it would be. I love architecture and I love the idea of going into, of course. Well, now I'm thinking, what kind of haunted house? If it's this like the haunting of Hill House, where there's this gorgeous Victorian that's furnished, I never understood that. How the house was this beautiful, upkept mansion from like the Gilded Age, complete with furnishing and everything, throughout all the years, sitting there empty. Fascinating. But I also like old abandoned houses with holes in the roof and we have some old farms around here that are like that, and barns too, and I find it very sad. But I think it would be fascinating to go on those too if you wouldn't like fall through the rotted floor or something and end up hurting yourself. I love exploring houses, and I like the idea of seeing if there are spirits. So yeah. Um, but then Jasmine said, what was the other one? Oh, a dark cave. That idea fascinates me too because I'm very into like finding arrowheads or something of that nature. But then you got to think about snakes and spiders and what might be lying in the dark recesses of the cave. And one of the spooky movies I did see this year, I think I told you about it, was something, I can't think of what the name was, but it was a group of people that went to the catacombs underneath Paris, and there was a lot of cave stuff there, and cave-ins and squeezing through tunnels. And man, I have read some horror stories, some true stories about cave people. Are they called spelunkers? Who have gotten trapped in tunnels while exploring caves, and they couldn't. I remember one case. I'm tripping over my words. I remember one case in particular where a guy got stuck upside down, and they worked and they worked, and specialists came in and they tried to get him out, and they couldn't get him out, and he ended up dying because of the blood flow, and he was head down, and they left him there, and they closed up the cave, and there's a so all that's creepy. So it depends on what kind of cave, how big the cave is, what's creeping around in the cave, but on the whole, I think I would choose the house. Okay, and lastly, I think the question Jasmine was waiting for us all to answer. Would you rather have a masquerade orgy or a night of spine-tingling tales? Uh, um, I've thought about this question and how I wanted to answer it. Now, as a fantasy, the orgy would be fun, but in a fantasy, all of the people that are involved in your orgy are people that you are attracted to. And people who are healthy don't have any communicable diseases. Um, and the reality would have to match that. Everybody would have to show up. This is how I think, with health documentation saying that they don't have any diseases. Um, and they all have to be clean, and they all have to be people that you're attracted to. Who wants to have an orgy with ugly people, so or sick people? But on the other hand, I love a night of spine-tingling tales, and you have to live with yourself afterward. Now, I was raised Catholic. If I went to an orgy, I would carry the Catholic guilt afterward. I'd have to go. I'd end up feeling like I had to go to confession before I died. That's I would find a way to ruin the orgy. I would not be able to let myself enjoy it. So orgies for me belong in the realm of fantasy and not reality. So I would choose the night of spine-tingling tales, but I would fantasize about the orgy, and I would probably feel um, sad that I couldn't have the courage to have participated in the orgy. But another part of me would feel glad that I didn't end up exposing myself to whatever diseases the people might have had, and all of the guilt that I did it and I shouldn't have. Anyway, those are my answers to your tag. I hope you're doing okay because you have not posted any tags yet this week and you haven't replied to my tag. So, see everybody later. Oh, gosh. I'm trying to keep busy and not think about the election. Bye.